everybody, welcome to mini beginner's crash course to Elasticsearch and Kibana. My name is Lisa Jung and I'm a developer advocate at Elastic. So this is a series of short videos for developers who want to get started with Elasticsearch and Kibana. In episode 3, we talked about the basic architecture of Elasticsearch and covered concepts like nodes, clusters, and shards. And throughout the series, we'll get some hands-on experience with Elasticsearch and Kibana and learn how to get started with these products. So in today's episode, we'll cover how to download and run Elasticsearch and Kibana on your own machine. So there are multiple ways you can access Elasticsearch and Kibana. You can always go with the self-managed option, and this is when you download Elasticsearch and Kibana and run these products locally in your environment. This option is free, but you do have to manage these products on your own. Then we have our cloud services. So the Elastic Cloud provides Elasticsearch and Kibana as a service. And unlike the self-managed option, the Elastic Cloud does all the heavy lifting of provisioning the host, managing security, and backing up your data. So this way, you could focus on building your product instead. Now, you get a 30-day free trial with Elastic Cloud, so you can explore to see if this is the right option for you. Then we have our Orchestration Products, which is an intermediate solution between completely self-managing your stack and going to the hosted service. And this option may be used by companies who can't use the cloud for regulatory reasons. With this option, you could take the same software that we use to power our Elastic Cloud and install it in your own environment and get the benefits we provide with the Elastic Cloud. Today, I'm going to show you how you can download Elasticsearch and Kibana and run these locally on your machine. And to make this process easier, I've written step-by-step instructions on how to download Elasticsearch and Kibana. To access these instructions, go to the link here. And the same link is also included in the description of the video. Once you go to that link, scroll down to the links to the download pages for Elasticsearch and Kibana. You'll also see download instructions for Mac or Linux and Windows. And depending on which operating system you're using, the instructions are slightly different. In this video, I'll be showing you how to do this on a Mac. But if you're using Windows, be sure to refer to the instructions for Windows to follow along. So the first thing that you're going to do is to click on Download Pages for Elasticsearch and Kibana and have these open in 2 tabs. All right, so let's get set up here. On my screen, you'll see 2 tabs open. One tab is a download page for Elasticsearch, and the other is the download page for Cabana. So once you're there, you're going to select the download option for your operating system. I'm using a Mac, so I've selected this option, which automatically starts the download process. So to save time, I've already downloaded Elasticsearch and Kibana and moved them to my desktop. And then I unzip the downloads by double-clicking on them. And to the right, you'll see the unzipped folder of each product. Now, we're going to run Elasticsearch and Kibana by using the command line interface. So let's open up our terminal. So I have 3 tabs open in my terminal, and I'm using the first tab to run Elasticsearch. So currently, the unzipped folder of Elasticsearch is located on my desktop. So we're going to CD into the desktop, then CD into the Elasticsearch folder. So when I recorded this video, we were at version 7.14.0, and by the time you watch this, there may be a new version out there, so this number may differ on your end. Now, once you get there, if you're on a Mac, run a command called bin/Elasticsearch. If you're on Windows, the command will differ, so be sure to check out the instructions to run the right command. Now, this step will get Elasticsearch up and running, and it may take several seconds to load up, so don't be alarmed if something doesn't happen right away. Okay, so from here, I'm going to hold Command F on my keyboard to find 9200. Now you'll see the IP address ending with 9200 here. So let's go over what that's about. So Elasticsearch provides a REST API whose endpoint is localhost at port 9200. And this API makes it possible for you to send HTTP requests to Elasticsearch to communicate with your cluster. So if you see this IP address and don't see any error messages, it means that Elasticsearch is ready to go. Now, make sure to keep this tab open while you're working with Elasticsearch, otherwise you'll shut it down. Now, we just talked about how Elasticsearch provides a REST API that allows you to send HTTP requests to your cluster. So let's make sure we can send a request to the REST API. Now, in our second tab, I ran a curl command and sent a request to localhost 9200. Again, this command is included in the instructions I shared with you earlier. So after you send the request, if you get the response with cluster information, the version of the Elasticsearch, then the tagline, that means that your cluster is able to receive requests. Now, in the third tab, we're running Cabana. So running Cabana is very similar to running Elasticsearch. So earlier, I downloaded and moved Cabana to my desktop. So what you do is you cd into desktop, then into Cabana folder. Then we run a command for running Cabana. So if you're on a Mac, you run bin/Cabana. Now, if you're using Windows, the command is slightly different, so be sure to check out the instructions. Now, if you look below, you'll see that Cabana is running at localhost 5601. So let's copy and paste that into your browser. And this will take you to the Cabana homepage. So there are so many things you can do from this homepage, but for the purpose of this series, we'll be focusing on DevTools, also known as the Cabana console. And throughout the series, we'll be sending various requests to Elasticsearch using DevTools. So from here, click on DevTools, then click on Dismiss, and get rid of this default query here. Okay, so now we're ready to use DevTools, and we'll be using this quite a bit, so make sure to have this open to follow along in the future. All right, so we just covered how you can download and run Elasticsearch and Kibana on your own machine. And this content is an excerpt from Beginner's Crash Course to Elasticsearch Part 1. So Part 1 is a full-length workshop where I cover the use cases of the Elastic Stack, when you should consider using Elasticsearch and Cabana, and how to perform CRUD operations with these two products. So if you prefer the full-length workshop format, check out the link shown on the screen. And the link is also included in the description of this video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode of Mini Beginner's Crash Course to Elasticsearch and Kibana.